Hey guys, tonight we're diving into the deep, dark, and impossibly ancient history of an apex predator, so immense it makes a great white look like a goldfish. Imagine for a moment that you're not sitting in your cozy chair, but instead, you're a tiny, prehistoric fish, darting through the sun-dappled shallows of a tropical sea 20 million years ago. A shadow falls over you, not a cloud, but something vast, silent, and impossibly patient. You feel the change in the water pressure before you see anything. The light dims, and then a fin the size of a small car breaks the surface. The water is suddenly colder, and you can almost hear the hum of a leviathan moving through the currents. You are in every single way that matters the bottom of a food chain, so terrifyingly complete that you probably won't survive this. So before you get comfortable, take a moment to like the video and subscribe, but only if you genuinely enjoy what I do here, and if you're up for it. Drop a comment with where you're watching from and what time it is for you. Now dim the lights, maybe turn on a fan for that soft background hum, and let's ease into tonight's journey together. Now let's step back a moment and put ourselves in the fins of our protagonist. Not a hunter, not a killer, but a mother. You are a Megalodon mom. Your body 100 tons of muscle and raw instinct stretching over 60 feet long. Your skin is a patchwork of scars, each one a memory of a close call, a rival's tooth, or a careless scrape against a coral reef. The one you just picked up, the long, thin one that's still stinging, is from a fight with a giant prehistoric sperm whale, a Leviathan melvillei. You'd won, of course. You always do. But the victory came with a cost. Your belly, swollen with the promise of life, feels heavy. It is a weight that tugs at you, pulling you away from the rich hunting grounds of the open ocean and toward something secret, something sacred. The urge is undeniable. It's a primal, ancient GPS in your brain telling you that you need to go home. Home for you isn't a cave or a territory. It's a beach, a secret beach. You turn your massive body, the movement surprisingly graceful for something so large, and begin your journey. The current pushes against you a liquid resistance, but you are a living torpedo built for this. As you move, you pass over a pod of Cetotherium, a small, ancient baleen whale, a species that once flourished. They scatter before you, not because they're afraid of you, they're too small to even be worth your time, but because they sense the sheer power radiating from your form. They're more of a snack for your smaller, more aggressive rivals, but for now you just let them be. You're on a mission. This migration isn't a pleasure cruise, it's a desperate high-stakes sprint. The open ocean is a ruthless place, and you are never truly safe, even at the top. You have to constantly be aware of other predators, even those that wouldn't normally pose a threat. The sheer size of a Megalodon is a mainstream historical fact, but it's a fringe tidbit that despite their size, they weren't immune to danger, especially in their vulnerable state. The journey takes you through a vast, sprawling archipelago. The water here is clearer, warmer, and filled with a kaleidoscope of colorful fish, all of them blissfully unaware of the immense power passing through their world. You see a smaller shark, a 10-foot-long ancestor of the modern hammerhead, eyeing you nervously. It knows what you are, and it gets the heck out of your way. But the real threats aren't the ones you can see. They're the ones you can't. Other megalodons, a young male, maybe a quarter of your size, swims too close, his teeth bared in a display of what you can only describe as foolish bravado. You barely register his presence, a slight shift of your tail sending a shockwave through the water that disorients him completely. He swims away in a daze. You have no time for this. The clock is ticking. You are driven by an instinct so powerful it overrides everything else, the need to find the perfect place to give birth. This is where things get interesting. We've always imagined megalodons as solitary hunters, lonely kings of the ocean. But historians still argue whether they had more complex social structures. Was this secret nursery a communal effort, a shared secret between mothers? Or was it something else entirely? Your journey suggests a communal shared memory, a place passed down through generations of mothers, a sacred trust. You're not going to just some random shallow bay. You're going to a specific place, a geographical location, burned into your genetic memory. The water begins to change the taste of it, less salty, more brackish, filled with the scent of decaying mangrove roots and the promise of a hidden lagoon. The light filtering down from the surface is less blue, more green, and the ocean floor is no longer a blank expanse of sand, but a living, breathing carpet of seagrass. It feels like you're getting closer. The water is getting warmer, the current less powerful. You can feel the distinct pull of a large bay, a natural cul-de-sac. The journey is almost over, but the final leg is the most dangerous. You have to pass through a narrow channel, a gauntlet of sharp rocks and unpredictable currents, and you can sense the presence of something else waiting in the shadows, something big. The final stretch of your journey is a ballet of survival. You move through the narrow channel with the caution of a cat burglar, your vast body gliding effortlessly between submerged rock formations that could shred your skin if you made a single miscalculation. The water is murky here, filled with silt and the promise of land. You can smell it, the rich, loamy scent of a coastal marsh, the fresh water of a river mingling with the salty brine of the sea. This is a scent your ancestors have followed for millennia. But you are not alone. You feel the telltale vibrations of a large body moving parallel to you just beyond the edge of your sight. You've been on the lookout for him all night, an old male you've encountered before. He's smaller than you, a brute of a shark, with a jaw full of broken and regrown teeth, and he is looking for a meal or perhaps a mate. But he's a predator of the open ocean. He doesn't belong here in this labyrinth of rock and shadow. You slow your pace, pressing your body close to the rocky wall. You're so still, you could be a part of the landscape. It's a trick you've learned through a lifetime of hunting, to be nothing, to be a ghost in the water. The male, a juvenile, in the grand scheme of things, relies on pure speed and brute force. He's impatient. He darts ahead his presence, a sudden turbulence in the water. He passes a narrow crevice, a gap, just wide enough for him to get his head stuck, and he doesn't see the large, ancient moray eel that has made this channel its home. The moray, an eel so large it could swallow a man whole, strikes out from its hiding place, not to kill, but to warn. It bites the male's snout, and he recoils with a roar of frustration. He turns back, confused and enraged, and you take the opportunity to slip past him unseen. It's a small victory, but a victory nonetheless. The open ocean is full of these small dramas, these little moments of chaos and chance that decide who eats and who starves. This particular drama, the conflict between rival megalodons, is a quirky or fringe tidbit of our understanding of these creatures. We tend to focus on their size and their teeth, but not on their social behaviors, the way they interacted with each other. It's a fascinating thought, isn't it? The possibility of these massive creatures having subtle, complex relationships, a social structure that was dictated by something other than pure, brutal hunger. But for you, the mother, all that matters is the safety of your unborn pups. The urge is so strong, it's almost a physical pain. You have to get to the nursery. You have to. You pass a small, ancient sea turtle, its shell covered in barnacles, floating on the surface like a piece of driftwood. It's a creature of a different age, a living relic, and you give it a wide berth. It's not a threat, but you don't want to spook it. You are in this moment a harbinger of a new beginning, a promise of a new generation. As you near the end of the channel, you can feel the water temperature rising, the current slowing to a gentle drift. You surface for a moment your great dorsal fin, breaking the surface with a gentle whisper. The air is thick with the scent of salt and the sounds of a vibrant living ecosystem. You are at the entrance to the lagoon. It's a sight to behold. The entrance is a natural archway of coral and rock, a fortress against the outside world. The lagoon itself is a vast, tranquil expanse of turquoise water, dotted with small mangrove-covered islands and surrounded by a ring of ancient, towering cliffs. The water is so clear you can see the white sand bottom, a blank canvas for the life that teems here. This, you think, is where you belong. This is your safe place. This is where you will bring your pups into the world. And this is where we have to pause and consider a mainstream historical fact, the existence of these ancient Megalodon nurseries. While we don't have a time machine to prove it, the fossil record gives us a tantalizing glimpse. We find fossilized shark teeth, specifically Megalodon teeth in concentrations that suggest these were places of great importance. These fossil beds are found in coastal areas in what would have been shallow, protected lagoons millions of years ago. It's a testament to the instinct of these animals, their drive to find a place where their young could have a fighting chance at survival. They weren't just aimlessly roaming the oceans. They were purposeful. They were going somewhere. As you enter the lagoon, the water grows even warmer, and the current disappears entirely. You are in a world of stillness, a world of peace. You can feel the life around you. Small schools of fish fry, so young they're almost transparent, dart through the seagrass. A small ancient crocodile, a distant cousin of the modern gharial, suns itself on a sandbar. It looks up as you pass its golden eyes, blinking slowly. It is not a threat. Nothing here is a threat. You are home. But historians still argue whether these nurseries were used by a single species or if they were communal shared spaces for various large marine predators. You pass by a smaller, but still massive sawfish, its long rostrum covered in a fringe of jagged teeth. It, too, is heavy with young. You acknowledge each other with a silent mutual understanding. You are all mothers, all seeking the same thing. You are all here for the same purpose. The lagoon is a world within a world, a sanctuary where the normal rules of the open ocean no longer apply. You feel the current pull you toward a particular section of the bay, a shallow, protected cove ringed by a thicket of ancient mangroves. These trees are a fortress, their roots a tangled mess of woody sentinels that create a natural barrier against the larger predators of the sea. The water here is even warmer, almost bath-like, and you can feel the subtle shift in your body as you enter this tranquil womb-like space. The light filters down through the leaves and branches of the mangroves, creating a dappled, shifting pattern on the sandy bottom. It's like a disco ball made of sunlight. You can't help but feel a sense of relief, a deep primal calm that settles over your massive body. The journey is over. Now the waiting begins. You find your spot, a patch of soft sand surrounded by a bed of seagrass, and you settle down your great body, becoming one with the gentle sway of the water. You are not alone here. You can sense the presence of other mothers, their forms barely visible in the murky depths. They are scattered throughout the lagoon, each one a silent sentinel, a guardian of a new generation. This shared space, this communal nursery, is a quirky or fringe tidbit of Megalodon lore that a lot of people don't think about. We tend to imagine the Meg as a lonely king, but what if they were a little more social, What if they had a support network? It's a nice thought, isn't it? A prehistoric mommy group, but with a lot more teeth and a lot less complaining about sleep schedules. The ecosystem of this nursery is a fascinating study in itself. It is a microcosm of life, a delicate balance of predator and prey, all existing in a state of suspended animation. The creatures here are small, agile, and fast. They have to be. They are the future meals of the young megalodons, a living buffet that will sustain the pups as they grow. You watch as small, bony fish, the ancestors of modern-day sardines, dart through the seagrass in shimmering schools. There are also ancient rays, their flat bodies gliding across the sand like living kites, and small ancient sharks, no bigger than a modern dogfish. These aren't threats. They are sustenance. They are the carefully curated menu for your hungry pups. This is a mainstream historical fact, the concept of a nursery serving as a unique ecosystem. We see it in modern sharks, like the bonnethead shark, which uses mangrove estuaries as nurseries. They are a safe place, but also a place where the young can learn to hunt and survive without the constant threat of being eaten by larger predators. For the megalodon, a creature of such immense size, the nursery had to be just as immense. The entire lagoon, from the shallow mangrove thickets to the deeper open waters in the center, is a single massive cradle. It is a carefully calibrated environment, a delicate machine built to ensure the survival of the species. You close your eyes, your mind drifting back to the open ocean, the endless blue that is both your home and a constant threat. You remember the last meal you had, a large baleen whale, its body a feast that would have sustained you for weeks. The memory of the hunt is a jumble of adrenaline and power, the feeling of your jaws closing on its flesh, the thrum of its heart slowing to a stop. But now all that is gone. Your body is now a vessel, a sanctuary for the life within you. You are no longer the hunter. You are the protector. This shift in identity from predator to parent is a profound one. It's a reminder that even the most fearsome creatures on Earth are subject to the same primal laws of nature. And this is where we get to the open scholarly debate. Historians still argue whether megalodons and other large marine predators of the time had a true social structure. Was it just a collection of individuals seeking the same safe haven? Or was there some form of cooperation, a silent understanding between the mothers? You can feel the answer in the slow, rhythmic pulse of the water. There is a silent understanding here, a collective sense of purpose. When a smaller shark, a foolish young male from outside the nursery, tries to enter the lagoon, you and the other mothers feel the collective need to defend the space. Your body doesn't even have to move. The other mothers, the ones you can't see, are already on it. The invader is met with a wave of silent, powerful resistance, a telepathic warning that sends him scurrying back into the open ocean. This is more than just a place. It's a community. It's a family. Days and nights blur into a tranquil rhythm of sun and moon. You rest on the sandy bottom, your massive body a natural reef, small fish darting in and out of the small crevices of your scarred hide. You are a living island, a piece of the landscape that is both a predator and a part of the peace. The lagoon is a constant hum of life, a gentle orchestra of rustling seagrass, the gentle lapping of waves against the shoreline, and the soft chirping of the small ancient birds that nest in the mangroves. This is the calm before the storm, the final moments of peace before your pups enter the world. The ecosystem of this nursery beach is truly a marvel. It's a self-contained world designed for the specific purpose of raising megalodon pups. Think of it as a natural incubator. A quirky or fringe tidbit is that the lagoon is not just a safe place, but an active participant in the pup's survival. The specific salinity of the water, a mix of fresh river water and salty sea brine, is thought to be an important factor in the pup's early development, strengthening their skin and gills, preparing them for the more hostile environment of the open ocean. It's like a specialized baby formula for sharks. The inhabitants of this lagoon are just as specialized. There are no great white sharks here, no orcas, and certainly no other megalodons looking for a snack. The larger predators of the open ocean are simply too big to navigate the narrow entrance to the lagoon. Instead, you have the small quickfish that will be the pup's first meals. You have the ancient rays, which are a source of protein, and a good way for the pups to practice their hunting skills. And you have the small ancient crocodiles, who are surprisingly non-threatening to the meg pups. They are a different kind of predator, a terrestrial one, and they mostly keep to themselves, sunning on the sandbars and only occasionally snatching a slow-moving fish. This is a mainstream historical fact, the concept of a natural nursery for a species. Think of it like a human kindergarten, but with a lot more teeth. The parents, the mother sharks in this case, are not just dropping their kids off and hoping for the best. They are actively creating a safe space, a world where the pups have a high chance of survival. The mothers have a silent agreement to patrol the area to keep an eye out for any intruders. The smaller sharks, the ones that are just passing through, are a constant source of friction. You hear the occasional thrashing of a struggle, a quick, violent burst of energy, as one of the mothers sends an intruder packing. It's a harsh reminder that even in this paradise there is a constant low-level threat. You are no longer just a shark. You are a mother. Your instincts have changed. You are a vessel for a new generation. Your body is heavy with the pups, their movement a constant gentle thrumming against your sides. It's a strange feeling, this duality of being a powerful predator and a nurturing parent. The open scholarly debate on this topic is whether this parental behavior was instinctual or learned. Did the megalodon mothers learn from their own mothers how to find and protect these nurseries? Or was it an instinct so deeply ingrained in their DNA that it was passed down from generation to generation without any need for instruction? You don't have the answer to that. All you know is the overwhelming need to protect the life inside you. You watch as a small school of ancient anchovies, their silvery bodies flashing in the sun, dart past your head. They are so close you could swallow them whole without even trying. But you don't. You are no longer hungry for them. Your hunger has been replaced by something else, something more profound. It is the hunger of a mother, a need to nurture and protect. You are a silent guardian, a massive, unmoving presence in the water, waiting for the moment when your pups will enter the world and begin their own journey. The world outside the lagoon is a dangerous place, but in here, in this quiet, peaceful haven, you are all safe. For now. The moment arrives as a gentle tremor, a subtle shift in the currents that only you can feel. It begins not with a thrash or a great push, but with a quiet, internal release. You feel the first of your pups leave your body, a tiny, perfect replica of your massive form, only a few feet long. It's an almost surreal experience, a moment of profound vulnerability and immense power. You are giving birth to a legend, a tiny creature that will one day grow to be a living torpedo, a 60-foot-long engine of destruction. But for now, it's just a baby, a little shark with a big future. The birth itself is a mainstream historical fact that is still being debated. We know that megalodons, like modern sharks, gave birth to live pups. The term for it is ovoviviparous, which is a fancy way of saying the eggs hatch inside the mother and the pups are born live. It's a great survival strategy, as it protects the young from predators during their most vulnerable stage. But a quirky or fringe tidbit is what happens inside the womb. The first pups to hatch often eat their siblings and any remaining eggs. This is called acral intrauterine cannibalism, or oophagy. It's brutal to be sure, but it ensures that the pups that are born are the strongest, the most aggressive, and the best suited for survival. So as you feel the pups leaving your body, you know that only a handful will make it a small elite army of little killing machines. The first pup is a male, and he's a little over 6 feet long. He's a chunky little guy, his body a miniature version of yours, his skin a mottled gray. He's got a big head and even bigger eyes, and he's already a perfect hunter. He's born with a full set of teeth, a little aha moment for all those tooth fairy deniers out there. He's not a helpless newborn. He's a tiny, fully formed predator, a testament to millions of years of evolution. He glides through the water, his movements a little wobbly at first, but he quickly finds his balance. He's a natural. He's a shark, and he knows it. You watch as he and his siblings, a total of maybe 4 or 5, begin their first moments of life. They are completely independent from the moment they are born. They don't need their mother's milk or their mother's protection. They need their mother to have brought them to the right place. And you have. The lagoon is their world, a giant playpen of safety and food. They are already practicing their hunting skills, chasing after the tiny schools of fish that are their first meals. You watch them, a silent, unmoving guardian. Your work is done. Now you wait for them to grow. The open scholarly debate is whether megalodons exhibited any form of parental care after birth. Was the mother's job done the moment the pups were born? Or did she stay in the nursery a silent protector for a period of time? You, the mother, feel a pull to stay, to linger in the peaceful, safe waters of the lagoon. But you also feel the pull of the open ocean, the call of the deep, the hunger for a bigger meal. You are a predator, and your instincts for a moment are at war with your new role as a parent. But for now you stay. You rest. You watch your tiny, perfect pups as they begin their journey, their first steps into a world that is both a playground and a battleground. And for a moment, in the quiet of the lagoon, everything is perfect. The first moments of a megalodon pup's life are a harsh and unforgiving test of survival. You, the mother, are just a silent observer now, a massive, unmoving reef as your pups learn the ropes. The pups, all 6 or 7 feet long, are not a united front. This is where a quirky or fringe tidbit of their life begins to show itself, a savage competition for survival that starts the very second they are born. They're not a litter of kittens all huddled together for warmth. They are miniature, self-contained killing machines, each one viewing its siblings as a rival for food and space. You can see the little male from before the one who was born first, already asserting himself, nipping at his smaller brother, a subtle but clear dominance display. This is a microcosm of the larger world they will eventually inhabit. It's a cruel, efficient form of natural selection. The pups that are too slow, too weak, or too timid will not make it. They will either starve or, more likely, be cannibalized by their stronger siblings. This isn't a game. It's a life or death struggle. You, the mother, do nothing to intervene. This is how it has always been. This is how the species ensures that only the strongest and most resilient survive to carry on the bloodline. It is a harsh and brutal fact of nature, but it is also a beautiful one in its own way. It is the raw, unvarnished truth of evolution. The most immediate struggle for the pups is finding their first meal. The lagoon is filled with food, but the pups have to learn how to hunt. They are born with the instinct, but not the skill. You watch as a little female no bigger than a modern shark stalks a school of ancient sardines, their bodies a shimmering wall of silver. She charges a little torpedo of pure power, but she's too slow. The sardines scatter 1,000 tiny silver explosions, and she is left with nothing but a mouthful of water. She tries again and again, each time getting a little closer, a little faster. She learns from her mistakes, a quick and efficient learning machine. This is a mainstream historical fact, the importance of a protected nursery with a high concentration of small, easily hunted prey. It's the equivalent of a kindergarten with a built-in cafeteria. The open scholarly debate about this stage of their life is whether there was any form of cooperation between the siblings. Did they ever hunt together, or was it always a solitary pursuit? Your observations suggest the latter. They are solitary hunters even in this safe haven. They are already practicing for the day when they will be alone in the vast, empty ocean, each one a king of its own domain. There is no sharing, no working together, only competition. And you, the mother, feel a pang of sadness. You have given them the best possible start, but now it is up to them. You have brought them to the water, but you cannot make them drink. The environmental threats within the nursery are minimal, but they are not non-existent. The ancient crocodiles, while not a direct threat to the pups, are a danger to the food source. They eat the fish and the rays that the pups need to survive. There are also smaller, more opportunistic predators, ancient sharks and other fish that have found a way to get into the lagoon and are looking for an easy meal. The pups have to be constantly on their guard, their instincts sharp and their reflexes quick. It's a constant, low-level threat, a buzzing in the background that reminds them that they are not invincible. You watch as the sun begins to set, casting long, dark shadows over the water. The lagoon, once a place of peace, now feels like a place of learning and struggle. You have done your part. You have given them life. Now they must fight for it. And you know in the silent, instinctual way that all mothers know that they will. They are megalodons, and they are born to survive. The hungry mouths of your pups are a constant, low-level hum in the lagoon. The pups, now a week or so old, are getting bigger and faster. You can see the change in their hunting styles, the clumsy lunges of their first day replaced by a more refined, efficient stealth. They're still tiny in the grand scheme of things, but they're growing quickly. And their first meal, the one that truly kickstarts their rapid growth, is a quirky or fringe tidbit of their life. It's not a big fish or a small whale. It's an ancient species of giant squid that lives in the depths of the lagoon. The squid are slow, clumsy, and full of a rich, fatty protein that the pups need to grow their massive bodies. They are a perfect, defenseless food source, and the pups take to hunting them with a frightening efficiency. You watch as a young female, the smallest of your litter, stalks a squid, her tiny body a ghost in the murky water. The squid, a great bloated thing with eyes the size of a dinner plate, is completely unaware of its impending doom. The pup, with a grace that belies her small size, closes the distance and with a quick, powerful bite, severs the squid's head from its body. The squid's tentacles writhe in a death dance, a final, frantic show of life, and the pup begins to feast. It's a brutal, beautiful, and completely natural scene. This is a mainstream historical fact, the concept of a nursery food source, a specific type of prey that is abundant and easy to hunt for the young. It's a key part of the nursery ecosystem, a carefully calibrated system that ensures the pups get the nutrition they need to grow into the apex predators they are destined to become. The open scholarly debate about the megalodon's diet is whether they were truly the indiscriminate, whale-eating machines we imagine them to be. Did they have a more nuanced diet? Did they, for example, eat these giant squid and other smaller prey during their younger years before moving on to the bigger game? Your observations suggest that, yes, they did. The pups in the lagoon are not hunting for anything bigger than themselves. They are honing their skills on the small, easy prey, building up their strength and their confidence before they take on the big leagues. It's a testament to the intelligence of these animals, their ability to adapt and to learn. They are not just mindless eating machines. They are cunning, intelligent hunters. As you watch your pups eat, you feel a low rumble in the distance. It's a sound you know well. It is the sound of other megalodons, bigger than you, moving through the deep, open waters of the ocean. They are not coming into the nursery. They are too big to navigate the narrow entrance. But their presence is a warning. It is a reminder that the world outside the lagoon is a dangerous place. It is a world of constant threat and a world of constant hunger. And you feel the pang of a mother's anxiety. You have done your part. You have brought them to safety. But one day soon they will have to leave this place and face the world on their own. You are a silent sentinel in the lagoon, a quiet, unmoving presence. You are not hunting. You are not eating. You are just watching. You have a full tank of gas, so to speak, and you are running on the energy of your last big meal. You are a mother, and your only job now is to wait, to watch your pups grow and to hope that they will be strong enough to face the world that is waiting for them. The world outside the lagoon is a dangerous place, but in here, in this quiet, peaceful haven, you are all safe, for now. A palpable shift in the lagoon's atmosphere pulls you from your quiet contemplation. It's not a change in the water, but a change in the air, a collective awareness rippling through the nursery. It's the arrival of the guardians. You can feel them before you see them, a low-frequency vibration in the water that pulses with authority and purpose. These aren't just other megalodons. These are the elders, the ancient males and females who have long since passed the age of breeding. They are the true keepers of the nursery, the silent protectors who have watched over generations of pups. Their presence is a powerful reassurance, a physical manifestation of the sanctuary's purpose. This concept of guardians is a quirky or fringe tidbit in the lore of the megalodon, a whisper in the wind of what their society might have been like. We imagine them as solitary kings and queens, but what if they were a little more communal? What if the most powerful of the species were not just the hunters, but also the protectors? These guardians are not here to hunt or to mate. They are here to patrol the perimeter, to ensure that no larger predator, no foolish young megalodon, and no overconfident killer whale gets within striking distance of the pups. They are the bouncers of the ancient ocean, and their job is to keep the party safe. The open scholarly debate about this is whether the megalodons had any form of cooperative behavior. Were they capable of working together for the good of the species, or was every interaction a zero-sum game of dominance and hunger? Your observation suggests the former. The guardians move with a silent, synchronized purpose. They don't communicate with sounds or gestures, but with a series of subtle shifts in their bodies, a shared understanding of their purpose. One guardian, an ancient female with a jaw full of broken teeth and a dorsal fin covered in barnacles, takes up a position near the narrow entrance of the lagoon. She is a fortress, a living wall of muscle and teeth, and you know that nothing will get past her. This brings us to a mainstream historical fact that supports this idea of cooperative behavior: the intelligence of sharks. Sharks in general are not the mindless eating machines that Hollywood has made them out to be. They are intelligent, curious, and capable of complex behaviors. The largest of them, like the Megalodon, would have had even more highly developed brains. It's not a stretch to imagine them having a rudimentary social structure, a system of elders and young, of hunters and protectors. It is a logical progression of their evolution. Why would a species that produces so few young leave them to fend for themselves without any form of protection? It simply doesn't make sense from a survival standpoint. The guardians are a necessary part of the equation, the final piece of the puzzle that ensures the survival of the species. You feel a quiet sense of pride as you watch your pups. They are a little bigger now, a little faster, a little more confident. The presence of the guardians makes the lagoon feel even more secure, a warm blanket of safety that covers the entire nursery. You are all a family here, a collection of mothers and elders of pups and protectors. The world outside the lagoon is a dangerous place. But in here, in this quiet, peaceful haven, you are all safe, for now. You have done your part. You have brought them to the water. Now they must swim. And with the guardians watching over them, you know they will. The peace of the lagoon is a fragile thing, a temporary bubble in a hostile world. You, the mother, feel at first a tremor in the water that is not from a fellow mother or a playful pup. It is a signature. You recognize a low-frequency hum of a different kind of predator. A killer. The guardians, the ancient protectors, feel it too. They shift their positions, their silent watch now a tense readiness. The pups, still too young to understand the gravity of the situation, continue to play and hunt, blissfully unaware of the danger lurking just beyond the lagoon's entrance. The intruder is an ancient Leviathan melvillae, a leviathan of the sea, a prehistoric sperm whale, with teeth as large as your own. It is a creature of the open ocean, a deep water hunter, and it has somehow found its way to the entrance of the lagoon. It cannot fit, of course. It is too big, its great bulk a living wall of blubber and muscle. But it is here for a reason. It is hungry. It has smelled the concentration of life within the nursery, the thousands of small fish the young raise, and the tantalizing scent of fresh shark pups. Its presence is a brutal reminder that the world outside the nursery is always looking for a way in. This is a mainstream historical fact that a lot of people don't consider the sheer number of predators that coexisted with the Megalodon. It wasn't just a king of the ocean with no rivals. It was a king in a court full of other kings. The Leviathan was a contemporary, a rival, for the same food sources and a fierce, dangerous predator in its own right. It was a hunter of other whales, a true force of nature. Its presence here at the nursery is a bold and dangerous act, a challenge to the unspoken rules of the deep. The guardians respond with a silent, unified front. The ancient female, the one with the barnacle-covered fin, takes the lead. She glides toward the entrance, her movements slow and deliberate, a show of power that is meant to intimidate. The Leviathan, for its part, is not easily intimidated. It thrashes its great tail, sending a shockwave through the water that disorients the smaller fish and stirs up a cloud of silt. It lets out a deep, guttural sound, a moan of a dying star that echoes through the lagoon. It is a sound of frustration, a sound of hunger, a sound of pure, unadulterated rage. The confrontation is a terrifying dance. The Leviathan lunges forward, its great head trying to breach the entrance, its teeth bared in a silent roar. The guardian, in a flash of speed that belies her age, meets the charge head-on. She does not bite or attack. She simply uses her massive body to block the entrance, her hide, a wall of living steel. The Leviathan recoils its great head, bumping against the ancient coral. It tries again, its movements more frantic this time, but the guardian holds her ground, a living testament to the power of a mother's will. This brings us to a quirky or fringe tidbit, the possibility of a megalodon's body being used as a weapon. Its sheer bulk, its hundreds of tons of living muscle, could be used not just for a powerful bite, but also to ram and incapacitate a rival. The Guardian isn't just a wall. She is a battering ram, a silent threat that says, "You will not pass." The open scholarly debate about this is whether these attacks were a common occurrence. Were megalodon nurseries constantly under threat from rival predators? Or was this a rare, isolated incident, a desperate gamble by a starving Leviathan? You don't have the answer to that. All you know is the overwhelming feeling of gratitude, a deep, primal thanks for the presence of the Guardians. They are the reason your pups and the pups of all the other mothers in the lagoon are still alive. The confrontation at the entrance of the lagoon is a tense, silent standoff. The Leviathan, a living battering ram of a whale, continues its frustrated attempts to breach the entrance. Its great head slams against the ancient coral, a sound that echoes through the water, a desperate, angry drumbeat. The Guardian, the ancient female, holds her ground, her body, a silent wall of muscle and bone. She is a statue of defiance, a testament to the power of a mother's will. She is not attacking the whale, not trying to kill it. She is simply defending the sacred space of the nursery, a line that cannot be crossed. The stalemate holds for what feels like an eternity. The whale, its patience wearing thin, lets out another one of its deep, guttural moans. It is the sound of pure frustration, and you can almost feel its hunger, its rage, its desperate need to get to the young, fat, and helpless pups inside. But the Guardian does not waver. She is a living wall, a shield of pure, unadulterated strength. The whale, realizing that it cannot win this battle of attrition, finally backs down. With a final furious thrash of its tail, it turns and swims away, its massive body disappearing into the murky depths of the open ocean. The peace of the lagoon returns, a gentle, quiet hum that seems even more precious now. This entire episode brings us to the open scholarly debate about the social structures and communal behavior of megalodons. Did they work together to protect their young, or was it every shark for itself? Historians still argue whether the megalodon, a creature of such immense size, could have a complex social hierarchy. Were they solitary hunters, or did they form packs like modern killer whales? Your experience in the nursery suggests a more nuanced answer. The megalodons here are not a pack. They are a community, a collection of individuals with a shared purpose. They have a silent understanding, a system of mutual respect and protection that is as old as the ocean itself. They are not a single unified organism, but they are a single unified purpose. A quirky or fringe tidbit that supports this idea is the discovery of fossilized shark teeth in strange patterns. We found fossil beds where the teeth are all from the same size of megalodon, suggesting that a group of them lived and hunted in a specific area. But we've also found others where the teeth are a mix of different sizes, a puzzle that suggests a more communal gathering, a place where young and old sharks came together. The nursery is the most logical explanation for these mixed-size fossil beds. It's a place where the young, the old, the mothers, and the guardians all came together for a single, sacred purpose. This brings us to a mainstream historical fact that supports the idea of communal behavior, the incredible brain size of the megalodon. While a shark's brain is not as complex as a human's, the megalodon's was one of the largest of any marine predator. A bigger brain suggests a more complex behavior, a greater ability to learn and to adapt. It is not a stretch to imagine that a creature with such a large brain could be capable of social interaction, of forming bonds, and of working together for the good of the species. Megalodon was not just a great white on steroids. It was a more intelligent, more complex, and more social animal than we ever could have imagined. The peace returns to the lagoon, a gentle, reassuring silence that is only broken by the soft splash of the pups as they hunt and play. The guardians, their job done for now, return to their silent watch, their massive bodies, a physical representation of the sanctuary's purpose. You, the mother, feel a deep primal gratitude. You have done your part. You have brought your pups to a safe place, and now they have the protection of the entire community. It is a beautiful and reassuring thought, a comfort in the dark, and a testament to the power of a mother's love. The pups, your progeny, are no longer tiny, wobbly creatures. The abundant food source, from the schools of small fish to the clumsy fat squid, has fueled a growth spurt that is, in a word, astronomical. This is a mainstream historical fact, the incredible growth rate of megalodons. A young pup in its first year could grow from a mere 6 feet to a staggering 20 feet long. It's a rate of growth that makes a modern-day teenager's growth spurt look like a snail's pace. This rapid growth is a necessity. The pups must get bigger and get bigger fast to survive in the world outside the lagoon. You watch as your pups, now the size of modern-day great white sharks, begin to prey on larger and larger animals. The schools of tiny fish are no longer a viable food source. They are now a light snack, a crunchy appetizer before the main course. The main course for the rapidly growing pups is a species of ancient small baleen whales, no bigger than a modern-day dolphin. The whales, complacent in the safe confines of the lagoon, are an easy meal. The pups, with their newfound size and power, hunt in a way that is a terrifying preview of their future. They don't just lunge. They strategize. They cut off the whales from their escape routes, using the natural barriers of the lagoon to their advantage. It is a show of cunning and intelligence that is, in a word, awe-inspiring. A quirky or fringe tidbit is that the megalodon's growth spurt was not a straight line. It was a series of plateaus and bursts. They would grow quickly for a period of time, then plateau as they hunted and fed, storing up energy for the next growth phase. It's like a human teenager eating an entire pizza and then passing out for a day only to wake up an inch taller. It's a survival mechanism, a way to conserve energy and to maximize growth. The pups, now much larger and more powerful, are no longer just a prey animal for larger predators. They are becoming predators themselves. They are a force to be reckoned with. The open scholarly debate about this stage of their life is whether this rapid growth was a continuous process or if it was dictated by the availability of food. Did a good hunting season mean a bigger shark, or was it a set biological process regardless of the food supply? Your observations suggest the former. The lagoon, with its abundant food source, has provided the pups with a perfect environment for growth. They are eating constantly, their bodies transforming from small, sleek hunters into the chunky, powerful creatures they are destined to become. The pups are no longer a source of anxiety for you. They are a source of pride. They are thriving. They are becoming the apex predators that you know they are destined to be. Their movements are no longer clumsy. They are graceful, powerful, and full of a quiet, confident strength. You watch as one of your pups, the largest of the litter, practices a hunting technique you've used 1,000 times, a quick, powerful lunge from the deep, a surprise attack that leaves its prey with no time to react. He is a natural. He is you in miniature, and you feel a sense of completion. You have done your job. You have brought them to the water, and they have learned to swim. The time is coming soon when they will have to leave this place. The lagoon, once a haven of safety, is becoming too small for their growing bodies. The food source is not infinite, and the open ocean, with all its dangers and all its promises, is waiting for them. But for now they are safe. For now they are home. And you, the mother, feel a deep, abiding sense of peace. The idyllic peace of the nursery is beginning to fray at the edges. You, the mother, feel it in the subtle changes in the water. The temperature is no longer as warm and consistent as it once was. The currents, once a gentle drift, are now more erratic and unpredictable. This is a subtle but profound signal that the world is changing, and the lagoon, once a fortress of safety, is no longer immune to the forces of a shifting planet. This is the tragic part of our story, the beginning of the end. The era of the Megalodon, and with it the sanctuary of the nursery, is coming to a close. This is a mainstream historical fact that is still being researched, the role of climate change in the extinction of the Megalodon. We know that as the Earth's climate cooled, sea levels dropped and the warm, shallow coastal waters that were the nurseries of the Megalodons began to disappear. The lagoon, once a deep protected bay, is becoming shallower. The mangrove roots, once submerged, are now exposed to the air, their leaves beginning to yellow and die. The rich, loamy scent of the river is being replaced by the acrid smell of decaying algae. The food source, once so abundant, is becoming scarce. The small baleen whales, the pup's main source of sustenance, are moving to deeper, colder waters, leaving the pups with less and less to eat. A quirky or fringe tidbit is the concept of a Tethys sea. This was a massive ancient ocean that once covered a large portion of the Earth, a warm, shallow, and incredibly biodiverse sea that was a perfect environment for the Megalodon. As the continents shifted and the Earth cooled, the Tethys Sea began to close a slow-motion geological catastrophe that spelled doom for a species that depended on warm, shallow water for its nurseries. It's a sad, quiet, and beautiful kind of ending, a natural end to a species that was simply too big for a changing world. The open scholarly debate about this is whether the loss of the nurseries was the single greatest factor in the Megalodon's extinction. Did the loss of a safe place to give birth and to raise young lead to a population crash that they could never recover from? Or was it a combination of factors? A perfect storm of climate change, loss of food, and the rise of new predators like the killer whale. Your observation suggests that the loss of the nursery is a key part of the puzzle. The pups are now too big for the dwindling food supply. They are too big for the shallow waters. They are restless. They are hungry. They are no longer safe. The guardians, the ancient protectors, feel the change too. They are no longer a silent, unmoving presence. They are restless, their movements more frantic, a palpable sense of unease in the water. They know in the ancient instinctual way that all animals know that the time for this place is coming to an end. The lagoon, once a haven of peace, is becoming a prison. The young, powerful megalodons, your pups, are no longer content. They are no longer playing. They are looking at the entrance of the lagoon, a silent longing in their eyes for the deep, open ocean that is their true home. And you, the mother, feel a deep sense of sadness. You have done your part. You have brought them to the water, but you can no longer keep them safe. The lagoon, once a sanctuary, has become a waiting room. The pups, no longer pups, but powerful juveniles, the size of modern great whites, are restless. Their powerful bodies, built for the open ocean, feel cramped in the increasingly shallow, warm waters. The food source, once so abundant, is now a paltry scattering of small fish and the occasional ray. They are hungry not just for food, but for the thrill of the hunt, for the endless blue of the open ocean. You, the mother, feel their restlessness, a low hum of impatience that resonates through the water. It's time for them to go. The final goodbye is a silent one. This is a mainstream historical fact that we've pieced together from the fossil record. Megalodons were by and large solitary creatures after they reached a certain size. The bond between a mother and her pups was a temporary one, dictated by the needs of the nursery. The day they are ready to leave, they simply leave. They glide past you, their sleek, powerful bodies, a testament to your success as a mother. They don't look back. They don't need to. Their instincts, their genetic compass, are pointing them toward the deep, cold waters of the open ocean, the place that is their true home. A quirky or fringe tidbit is the idea of a scent memory. The pups, as they leave the lagoon, are not just relying on their sense of sight or sound. They are following a scent, a complex tapestry of currents, temperature changes, and the chemical signatures of the open ocean. They are following the same path their mother took, the same path their grandmother took, and the same path that will one day lead them back to this place, if it still exists. It's a genetic memory, a silent map etched into their very being, a promise of a future that may never come to pass. The open scholarly debate about this is whether the megalodons had any form of migration patterns. Did they travel great distances in search of food and mates, or did they stay within a certain territory? The existence of these nurseries, these safe havens in the coastal waters, suggests a migratory pattern. The pups, as they leave, are beginning their own great migration, a journey that will take them to the far corners of the ocean. It is a journey of a lifetime, a journey of a species that is reaching its twilight. You are left alone in the lagoon, a great silent sentinel. The waters are quieter now, the hum of life replaced by a gentle, mournful silence. You have done your job. You have given them life, and you have given them a fighting chance. You feel the pull of the open ocean, the call of the deep. You, too, must leave this place. The nursery, once a haven of peace, is now a ghost town. The era of the megalodon for this generation is over. You turn your massive body, and with a final, lingering look at the sacred space of the lagoon, you begin your journey back to the deep. The journey is different this time. You are no longer driven by the frantic need to find safety. You are driven by a quiet, contented sense of a job well done. You have done your part. You have ensured the survival of the species. And now you return to the ocean, your true home. The young megalodons, your pups, have left the safety of the nursery and are now in the open ocean, the place they were born to inhabit. They are not alone. The world they have entered is not the same world their mother once knew. The earth is cooling, the warm, shallow seas are retreating, and the great baleen whales, the primary food source of the megalodon, are migrating to colder, deeper waters. This is the beginning of the end, the slow-motion tragedy of a species that is simply too big for a changing world. The megalodon, once the unchallenged king of the ocean, is now in a battle for survival. This is a mainstream historical fact, the extinction of the megalodon, roughly 3.6 million years ago. It wasn't a sudden, cataclysmic event like a meteor strike. It was a slow, agonizing decline, a species facing an evolving world it was no longer suited for. The great whales, once so plentiful, are now harder to find. The pups, now juveniles, are forced to hunt for smaller, more elusive prey. They are competing with new predators, creatures that are faster, more agile, and better suited for the new, colder ocean. One of these new predators is the killer whale, or orca. The open scholarly debate about this is whether the rise of the killer whale was a contributing factor in the megalodon's extinction. Did the orcas, with their social hunting strategies and their ability to hunt in packs out, compete the megalodon for food? Your pups, now alone in the ocean, are no match for a coordinated pack of orcas. They are solitary hunters, and the orcas are a pack of intelligent, cunning, and ruthless predators. This is a quirky or fringe tidbit of their extinction, the idea that a smaller, more intelligent predator could outcompete the largest predator the world has ever known. It is a harsh and brutal fact of nature, a lesson in the power of intelligence and cooperation over sheer size. The young Megalodons, once so powerful, are now struggling. They are thin, their ribs showing through their mottled skin. They are starving. The great, powerful bodies that were built for feasting on whales are now a liability. They require an immense amount of food to survive, and that food is simply no longer there. The world that was once their home is now a graveyard. The warm, shallow seas are gone. The great whales are gone. The future is gone. You, the mother, are still alive, a silent, ancient sentinel in the deep. You have lived through the change. You have seen the decline. You are one of the last of your kind. The world is different now. The oceans are colder, the food is scarcer, and the great roaring sound of the Megalodon's hunt is a thing of the past. You are a ghost, a living relic of a bygone age. The battle for the Megalodon, a battle that has been fought for millions of years, is now over, and the species once the king of the ocean has lost. The sun sets on the age of the Megalodon, a final, beautiful, and silent goodbye. You, the last of your kind, feel the cold of the deep ocean on your ancient hide. The great, powerful body that was once a source of pride is now a burden, a reminder of a world that no longer exists. The oceans are colder, the food is gone, and the great, roaring sound of the Megalodon's hunt is a ghost in the water, a phantom sound of a time that is no more. You are not a king anymore. You are a memory. The legacy of the Megalodon, however, is not a forgotten one. It is a mainstream historical fact that the shark's fossilized teeth, some as large as a human hand, are still found all over the world. These teeth, these fossilized remnants of a time long past, are a testament to the Megalodon's reign. They are a treasure for fossil hunters, a source of awe for scientists, and a reminder of the power and majesty of a creature that once ruled the world. We found them on every continent except Antarctica, a testament to the Megalodon's global reach. A quirky or fringe tidbit is the concept of Megalodon shark tooth necklaces. For centuries, ancient civilizations, from the Egyptians to the Romans, believed these teeth were the petrified tongues of dragons. They wore them as amulets, as a source of protection from evil. It is a beautiful, if unscientific, tribute to a creature they never even saw alive. It's a reminder that even in its death, the Megalodon continues to inspire awe and a sense of wonder. The open scholarly debate about the Megalodon's legacy is whether its extinction left a void in the ocean's ecosystem that was ever truly filled. Did the oceans, once dominated by a single powerful predator, become a more diverse and balanced place after its disappearance, or did a new predator, like the killer whale, simply take its place, a new king in an old court? The answer is a complex one, a web of interconnected life and death that is still being unraveled. But one thing is for certain, the ocean after the Megalodon was never the same. You, the ancient mother, feel a final, peaceful wave of calm wash over you. The journey is over. The battle is lost. The species is gone. But your legacy, the legacy of a mother who built a secret beach nursery, will live on in the fossil record, in the minds of scientists, and in the quiet, calming stories we tell in the dark. You are a whisper in the water, a ghost in the deep, a silent, beautiful memory of a time when giants ruled the earth. And now, as we reach the end of our journey together, I invite you to take a deep breath. Let the quiet darkness of the ocean wash over you. The story of the Megalodon is a sad one, a story of a species that was simply too big for a changing world. But it is also a story of a mother's love, a story of a community's protection, and a story of a life lived to its absolute fullest. The sound of the ancient ocean, the gentle lapping of the waves, the quiet hum of a world long gone, is still with us. It is in the sound of the wind and the rustle of the leaves, and in the quiet whisper of the night. Let that sound be a comfort to you. Let it be a gentle reminder that even in its final moments, the Megalodon was a thing of great beauty and immense power. So let your eyes close now, let your breathing slow, and let the gentle hum of the past lull you into a soft, quiet sleep. There is nothing to fear here. The monsters are long gone. The ocean is quiet. You are safe. Sweet dreams.